The other day, when I was having my lunch, Thwaite came up and he stood on his back legs. And then he took one of his front paws and he bashed me on my arm with it. This is his way of saying, "Excuse me." So I said, "Yes, Thwaite, what is it?" And he said, "What are you eating?" And I said, "Fish fingers." And he looked at the plate and he looked at me and he said it must have been quite some fish. So I explained about fish fingers. Well, he said, "I did want to talk to you about fingers anyway, even if they aren't the fingers of a real fish." He said, "I did want to talk to you because I see you've got fingers like pork sausages. And Jane's got fingers like chipolatas." He said, "Did you know I've got fingers too?" And I said, "Well, I know what you mean. So that if you look very carefully at your feet, you can see that, well, I'd call them toes rather than fingers. They're there, and they're a little bit separate." "Yes," he said, "those are my fingers." He said, "But nobody gives me credit for it. They just think my foot's like a sort of tennis racket that I can hit things with." And I said, "Well, I know." He said, "The thing is, my fingers are not suitable for holding things, really. And I've noticed that most animals are like that. Hardly any animal has got fingers that you can hold things with. I suppose some monkeys do it, but not many other things, really." And I said, "Well, you've got to remember that some birds can hold things, and a few birds can even make tools out of sticks and things like that, held in what you might call their fingers, their claws." "Yes," he said, I've noticed." Thwaite said, "I've noticed when you're using your fingers like that, you normally do it on your own." Said, "Can I ask you something?" Said, "Are you a pack animal?" And I said, "Well, there are really two definitions of a pack animal, Thwaite. There's animals that carry things, carry packs, loads, like camels and yaks and donkeys and reindeer and even water buffalo." "Oh, yes," said Thwaite, "but I'm not interested in that because I don't carry loads, do I? Nobody's ever put a rucksack on me and said, 'There you are, off you go, take that round the corner to somebody else,' because dogs normally don't consider it part of their work." So I said, "No, well, that's all right. But that's one sort of pack animal, and the other sort of pack animal is animals that join together in packs, and that's their society. And that's how they might hunt, for instance." Said Thwaite, "that's the sort of pack animal I was thinking of, and I'd like to point out that I hunt on my own. So I'd like to know, please, do you think I'm a pack animal?" And I said, "Well, Thwaite, I think you like to be in a group. So you like to be in our family, don't you?" And he said, "Yes, I definitely do. I love being in a family, and I love meeting other dogs, and I'm quite keen to do things with them, but they're not always keen in return." So he said, "Are you a pack animal?" And I said, "Well, yes and no. Jane is more of a pack animal than I am. She loves being with other people and talking to people. She likes to talk to people almost all the time." "Well," said Thwaite, "I find I'm better when I'm with other people. If you're busy doing your work, which you are a lot of the time, except when you're eating, really, then I think it's just so boring I go to sleep. Okay, I said. But let's talk about what Jesus did in Lent, because we're in Lent and we should understand what Jesus was about. So when we read the Gospels, we know that Jesus was most of the time with his disciples and meeting people and helping people. Oh yes, let's wait. I understand about that. That's what I like to do too. But in Lent, he went off into the wilderness and he was just on his own. Except he wasn't quite on his own because he was with God. And he was finding out what he was meant to do in his life, in his ministry. Well, said Thwaite, I'm very glad you've explained that to me, because I want to find out more about the point of being on your own. And you've started to tell me. And I think that's very good. And I feel much closer to you, as you can see from my body language, when you're talking about the point of us being together and being alone. And with that, he went off